So, welcome to my podcast. This is Finding Rest with Audia Delican. So, I'm excited today. We're going to be talking about health and wellness. What do you put in your body that can help to bring better outlook in your life, pretty much make you lose weight, feel better? And I am going to just be briefly talking about a few things that I've been doing and definitely would love for you to share in the comments what you do on your own health journey. So definitely like and subscribe to this channel. If you are joining on the podcast, definitely rate this podcast and let me know what areas of topics you want me to talk about. I will be bringing more special guests on this podcast as well. And also, if you're on the YouTube channel, check out the YouTube channel if you are on the podcast as well, because you get to see my face, we get to interact, and all of my podcasts are on there as well if you want to see all the guest speakers I have been on as well. And definitely like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. So when we talk about health and wellness, it's so important to know what you put in your body. And I have been researching, been learning, doing courses and everything. And I definitely love to learn because I know that I'm not perfect and I am getting coaching as well. Coach always has to be coached as well. And I'm so grateful on the journey that I'm on because I know over the years, as you age, as you get older, if you're in your 40s and above, it can get really challenging with your metabolism. If you're still younger, know that you need to make sure you're taking care of yourself now and not wait until you're over 40 into 50. If you're in premenopause and menopause, it gets more tough. So definitely want you to listen in, write down some stuff, definitely put down what you do and what has worked for you. I've been watching other women who have struggled and even being younger or being older have struggled to keep their health in check. And it's important to make sure that first of all that we know and understand what we put in our body. I was listening to a podcast the other day and they were talking about the challenges in this society that we're in, which leads us to having all of these health issues that go on in our lives. So the first thing that's so important to make sure is the ingredients that you put into your body. Anything that is grown, that is fresh, frozen, your fruits, your vegetables, you got your grains, you got your beans. Anything that is not processed is something that you need to be focusing on more. Now, I know with some of us, we're so used to getting all those easy to fix meals that are pretty much in a box. And I'm going to challenge you, if you're listening to this, to start looking at what you put into your body. Check the boxes, check the food labels. Start to learn and understand what each ingredient is. And if you're not able to actually read or understand what you're reading from the ingredients, then you know it's processed and you know it's not healthy. I'm still working on it. I'm working with my family. I'm starting to look at stuff and pay a little bit more attention and slowly getting rid of things to substitute. And that's one thing I'm learning, that it's not going to be overnight. If you're on a journey of getting healthier, it's not going to be overnight to be healthier. You need to make sure that you're choosing one thing and slowly, gradually transitioning to what is healthy and a wellness lifestyle for you. So the first thing I challenge you to do is to look in your pantry, look in your fridge. What do I have in there? Is it something that I can eat that's healthier? Is there too much sugary stuff that I'm seeing? Is there cookies, cakes, all those stuff? I tell you, if I go into my fridge now, I probably have fruits. I have fruits and vegetables. I know there are some processed stuff. And one thing that I have done and challenged myself is to switch out drinks. So if you're a person that doesn't drink water, so important to make sure you're having water in your daily intake. Coke, coffee, those things aren't really good and healthy fluids. But if you're actually taking those in moderation and slowly transitioning out of it, once in a while, a treat. If you can get rid of it totally, even better. So I have substituted my sodas in my fridge to the sparkly bubbly waters, and those have, I love them. I like them, and I've been using those. So find things that you can do to substitute. If you are someone who is not really a fruit person, pick one fruit and start learning how to eat fruit. If you're a person who doesn't like vegetables, choose one vegetable and try to get used to it. Our taste buds change every several months. So when your taste buds are used to eating something, usually it won't digress back. If you're someone who eats a lot of sugary stuff, start cutting back on those. Health and wellness journey requires you to have that mindset of being open to the change. So if you are someone who's not open to change, I am one of those people. I may be fine for a few months, and then I start going backwards. So I am learning how to write my meals down, keep track of it. I did write in my book that I do not like to track my meals, and I still don't. But I've actually learned that it's important for me to see with my physical eye that keeping track of my meals is something that I can see, and I can actually look at the end of the day and say, well, this wasn't the best decision, but I did enjoy it and I did exercise. So I kind of tell myself what I've done good for the day, what I can modify, what I can take out. So find something that works for you and keep going with it. You may have to do it for a longer term. Things don't change overnight. So I am doing a program right now that is through my company that I work for, and I've had the opportunity to actually just listen in and get some feedback. It's been about 3 weeks, and I know that I can't change myself overnight, and even the coach said you can't change yourself overnight, but as you're doing it, you start to get used to it, and as you get used to it, it starts to become part of you. So if you're doing something, keep on doing it. I'm going to encourage you right now, keep on doing it. And when you keep on doing it, you're now going to be better, and you're going to start to see the changes that you want to see. Another thing that I like to do is exercise. So when you're doing your exercise, choose things that you like to do. Now, a lot of us go by what other people do, and they say and they try it and they don't like it, then don't do it. Choose something that you love to do. I love to run, but I've not been able to run because I've had some injuries I'm still trying to get healed on, but I love to walk. So I've been walking, I've been going to the gym, I do yoga, I do different things. But I made sure that I do stuff that I love to do because it helps me to stay focused. I love to do it first thing in the morning, and I've also decided that I can do it towards the end of the day as well. So do some yoga towards the end of the day as well, or do a little bit of body combat, which is something that I love doing because I love to do martial arts. So when I do that, my stress level becomes lower. I feel more relaxed before bed, and I'm able to sleep better at night. Another health and wellness journey thing that's so important, I always talk about, is sleep. So how much sleep do you have? When you're trying to get healthier, it does require you to make sure that you are getting enough sleep at night. I have been pretty fortunate in the last few weeks to get a better night's sleep. There are some nights that my daughter gets up, so it messes up my sleep cycle, but a lot of us don't sleep enough. 4 to 5 hours of sleep may feel enough for some people, but in order for our bodies to rejuvenate and gain our cells to regenerate, it requires us to get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. If we are not sleeping at night and then we're trying to function on coffee and caffeine during the day, eventually it's going to cause health issues. That's the honest truth. Most of us that have health conditions are trying to find ways to reverse it, and the only way you can reverse it is to heal yourself by resting, by sleeping, eating healthier, cutting back on all of the extra processed foods, and also cutting back on the sugar. Inflammation is another thing in our bodies that is caused by what is around us, our environmental stuff, our foods, and also lack of sleep. And when our energy levels are low, it can cause us to be more vulnerable to all of the extra stuff that's going around, like flu and all the COVID and everything else, all of the stuff that's around us. Also allergies, eczema, all those things are inflammation in our bodies. So if you're on your health and wellness journey, I ask you to join me. Definitely would love to be your coach, would love to coach you on your own journey, step by step with your meal plans, also to see with your mindset what you are doing to keep your mind at rest as you're going through your own health journey. And as I said, it's not a quick fix, but it requires you to have someone to motivate you, to push you through, and to encourage you so that you can get to where you need to be. Definitely check other people's stories. When you check those people's stories that have been successful with their weight loss or with their health journey, it's taken them years. It's not few months. When we crash diet, we're hurting ourselves. But when you're taking your time to love yourself, to spiritually love yourself, to physically love yourself, to mentally love yourself, your health and wellness journey will be on top of things. You will see a total 360 on that. So definitely check out my links. Make sure you subscribe and sign up for my seven steps to finding rest course if you haven't already. Pretty reasonable price, and you can take your time to do it. Also, if you're interested in my coaching, I have a 20-minute free session. Definitely reach out to me, and you can sign up for that as well. And also, if you haven't read my book, Rest, Finding Yourself as a Woman Again, my #1 bestseller, definitely check it out. Take your time to read it. A nice short read, gets to the point of all this that I talk about in the podcast is from the book. That inspired me to get this podcast going. So for all those who have been faithful to listen, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Like, share, subscribe. Definitely, I'm looking forward to getting some more guest speakers on, and that's in the works in the next month or so. So I'm excited because I think those people that are on the same journey as I am, all their inspiration is so inspiring. If you haven't listened to the previous podcast with my previous guests, and also the other podcasts I've had on, definitely listen to those because there's some good information from that.